Now we have an update on a story we first mentioned in early February. The church this year is unrolling a major survey of Adventist opinions, attitudes, and spiritual life patterns. Adventist researchers say even the most common statistics, such as what percentage of church members are women, are really no more than educated guesses. So they're starting from scratch, and they're collecting hard data in all 13 of the church's world regions until early 2013. Earlier today, I sat down with church researcher David Trim to learn more about this survey. Thanks for speaking with us, David.
Thank you for having me.
What are some of the topics that researchers will look at in this survey?
Well, researchers will be establishing some basic demographic data, the age of people, their ethnicity, and their gender, about which, as you already alluded, we have very little information. But then they'll also be going into questions about people's spiritual attitudes, their spiritual life practices. How often do they read the Bible? How often do they read Ellen White? How often do they read other Christian books? Do they have a regular small group they belong to? Do they attend prayer meeting? Do they have family worship? Do they even pray? You know, these are all absolutely fundamental parts of a Christian spiritual life. And we have little bits of evidence that suggest many Adventists don't maintain the sort of spiritual life that we might think or might hope, and so we need to know the facts. We'll also be asking some questions about their attitudes to Adventist doctrines and beliefs.
How will the church use this information?
We will use this to try and see where we actually are in terms of, what's happening in the church. Lots of people have lots of ideas about what the problems are in the Adventist church, Frenita, and they can't all be right, and some of them are just based on anecdote and hunch and suspicion. So we're going to try and say, what are the real needs of the Adventist church, not only in North America, but in each and every separate part of this global world church.
So this survey is very important for our church members, David.
It's very important, Frenita, and we want them to cooperate. If your viewers get requested to take part in a survey, I'm asking them please to cooperate and please answer frankly, truthfully, and candidly. There's no way we're going to try and track this back to people, but we need to know what's really happening in our church so we can put any of the problems right and get good solutions for the future.
Thanks so much, David, for joining us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
When we return, we'll learn more about this week's Adventist Review.